There are two possibilities. 1. The lift is standing alone. Or 2. More elevators are linked in a row. If the lift is alone, each column on the left and right has only one supporting carrier. If they are coupled, the coupled columns have a support carrier on both sides. And only the outer columns of the row have only one carrying yoke. Mark the place on the floor where the bridge should be. 257.6 centimeters wide, and 3 surfaces of 87 centimeters, 91 centimeters and 220 centimeters long respectively. Drill a 12 mm hole in the floor through the base and drive in a floor anchor and tighten. Take a longitudinal beam, the sloping side is the ram, and hang it on the carrying carrier. Install only the top bolts. These are the shorter thick black bolts and nuts. Take the cross connections, 2 in the middle and 1 at the back. The middle one with the longer bolts and the rear one with the shorter ones. Fit the short feet to the front of the column. Take the other longitudinal member and hang it on the other column. Only mount the top bolts and nuts here. Slide the column with the cross beam to the correct position and connect the cross connections to the longitudinal beam. Now mount the rear feet. And the cover plate for the hydraulic hose with the 2 bolts on the feet. Take the motor and the mounting bracket. Mount the bracket to the motor with 2 bolts. Hang 2 bolts with nuts and washers loosely in the top 2 holes. Hang the motor, with the 2 bolts, in the slotted holes at the top of the column. If the motor is hanging, you can attach the 2 bottom bolts with nuts, and tighten all bolts. Mounting plate for the electrical box. Mount the electrical box with 4 small screws, with the back to the mounting plate. Hang 2 loose bolts with washers and nuts here too, in the top 2 holes and hang them in the top slotted holes in the column. Make sure that the door of the electrical box opens outwards. There are 3 different hydraulic hoses. One long with an angle coupling and a straight coupling. The right angle coupling is attached to the motor. The straight coupling comes on the distribution block. A short hose with an angled coupling and a straight coupling. The straight coupling goes to the bottom of the cylinder. The right angle coupling goes to the distribution block. And a long hose with 2 straight couplings. One side comes on the connecting block and the other side goes under the cover plate, to the other side of the lift, where it locks at the bottom of the cylinder. Right angle coupling to the engine. Hose runs through the duct in the column to the bottom of the column, out of the opening, through the openings in the base, to the mounting block. Short hose, straight coupling on the cylinder, angled coupling on the mounting block. Long hose with 2 straight couplings, one side to the mounting block and the other to the bottom of the cylinder, from the other column. Connect power cable from electrical box to motor. Open the motor lock box. Yellow-green is earth. This comes on a cross screw on the housing. Blue is U1 and brown is U2. Remove the coil from the lowering valve by loosening the 17 mm nut. Slide the spool off the shaft. Open the terminal block. Pull the wire through the nipple and through the cap. Connect the 2 wires across the resistor and the LED. Reassemble the assembly on the lowering valve. The cable runs from the coil to the top of the column, through a corner in the column to the electrical box. The suspension rod for the control box. First mounted with the two upper bolts. Hang the rod in the slotted holes and then mount the lower bolts. Do this with the support rod too. Take the control box and open it. Take a picture of the connected wires. Disconnect the wires and feed the cable from the column through the rod to the front. Reconnect the wires, according to the photo, and mount the control box with 4 screws on the mounting plate. Connection of the limit switch. This comes at the top of the column. The wire runs through the corner to the electrical box. Fill the oil reservoir with 10 liters of hydraulic oil, with a viscosity of 46. Take a 220 volt connecting wire with plug, and connect it in the electrical box. Green yellow is PE, blue is V and brown is U. Please note that the power group, 16C, slow, must be fused. Plug in the mains plug, turn on the main switch and the light will come on. Turn the key to the left, up, the motor will run and the lift will go up after a while. Go to the first latch and load the platform into it. Now mount the lower, long bolts of the platform to the yokes. Assembling the synchronizing chains, hang the chain in the threaded fork, and hang it in the bracket. The chain runs down the column, under the roller, through the hole, and to the other side. Here it runs above the roll and down the column, to the mounting block. Install the chain here with the pin and cotter pins. Mount the ramp with the 2 bolts on both sides. Now let the lift go up, so high that you can stand under it. Place the platform plates on the longitudinal beams, with the open trench to the back, so that each subsequent slab is placed in the trench. Start on the ramp side. Take the set cover plate and place it last, so that the hole is closed. Attach the plates, at the bottom, first to the side beams, using the 14mm wrench, size bolts and nuts. Then also connect the plates together. Take the plates with the latches, and mount it on the underside of the longitudinal beams. Knee coupling on the locking block. Do this on both sides. Connect the locks with the spiral cable and the loose wire, with T-piece and plugs. The loose wire with T-piece and plugs comes between the 2 locks. The spiral cable comes to the T-piece. Check whether the locking block, by operating it by hand, it is released far enough. Mount the small U profiles on the longitudinal beam, at the sloping side of the driveway. Operation of the lift. Turn the key to the left, the lift goes up. When it has reached the limit switch, it stops. Now press the green lock down button, and the lift will drop into the lock. To lower the lift again, first turn the key to the left, up. The lift will rise and come out of the lock. Then the key to the right, it unlocks and drops to the ground. Have fun with your new parking lift.